I was wrong about that. The jagged air got worse. Someone a few rows back threw up, and I mean up, and somebody near the front lost it completely and began wailing. A few minutes later, although I still couldn't see anything other than blue sky out of the window, the co-pilot's super calm voice informed us that the weather had closed in on Kinshasa. For safety's sake, we were being diverted from Njili Airport to somewhere else beginning with R. Or it might have been D. Either way, Amelia immediately informed us that it was 500 kilometers away. This news turned Mum's fear to frustration. She forgot her concern that our wings might fall off and set to worrying that we would miss the first of the meetings she'd scheduled in the lead-up to the environmental summit she and Dad had flown all this way to attend. I tried to placate her. "It's only a few hours' drive, Mum." "On a tarmac motorway, yes," Amelia pointed out. "But that distance can take days on dirt roads, particularly in the wet season, which is now," she added helpfully. Dad also tried to reassure Mum all would be well. We'd be there in time to make a proper impact on the big vote, he said. But his voice had the same tone he used when he told me boarding school would be a walk in the park, which it hasn't been. And I could tell she didn't believe him either. This vote that Mum and Dad, Janine and Nicholas Courtney, joint founders of the Courtney Conservation Foundation to give them the names by which they wield such influence among environmental campaigners, were hoping to help get passed, was the latest in a long line of interventions staged by the foundation. Ever since they took early retirement from their finance jobs in the city, eco-activism, through the foundation, has been their thing. It's a pretty generous way to spend their time and money, I suppose. But if I'm honest, although I completely back the whole save the planet thing, I can't get quite as excited about it as they do. Which was why Mum had insisted I come along on this trip. While my parents would be lobbying business leaders, government officials and ministers in the capital, Kinshasa, Amelia and I were set to go on safari in one of the country's national parks to check out the natural wonders Mum and Dad were here to protect. Though she hadn't spelled it out, I knew Mum was hoping that once I saw firsthand what was threatened, I'd be more keen to do my bit to help. And maybe I would. I was certainly up for seeing some gorillas. Either way, the gorillas' habitat and the big vote about whether to protect it or sell it off to mining companies was the reason we were now coming into land at the wrong airport somewhere in the Democratic Republic of Congo. For ages, there'd been nothing but trees visible below the plane. As Amelia pointed out, I was looking at the second largest rainforest in the world after the Amazon, in a country roughly the size of Western Europe, slap bang in Central Africa. I couldn't help thinking that if the gorillas weren't able to sort themselves out down there, the Courtney Foundation would have its work cut out to help them. But I didn't say that to Mum, obviously. I'm not a total idiot. Instead, I listened as Amelia, who, true to form, had done her research, give a mini lecture on the endemic corruption the citizens of the Democratic Republic of Congo have to put up with. "It's rife," she said, "as in quite possibly the most corrupt country on Earth. There's more mineral wealth in the ground here than just about anywhere else, and yet the people are among the world's poorest. Even those who do the digging for the gold, cobalt, and tantalum, which is used in mobile phones, barely see any of what it's worth. Foreign companies from China and the West bribe corrupt officials, buy up what's dug out for a pittance, sell it overseas, and pocket the profits. Unless the government steps up properly, which is what the vote your folks are here to influence is all about, the country will have lost 95% of its rainforest within the next 8 years. Add in the militia who've turned much of the country into a war zone, and the deforestation for charcoal, and the threat to wildlife from poachers,